Greetings and salutation, boxing fans, boxing critics, and boxing analysts. I appreciate each and every one of you, the community, showing so much love, towards the lives, the videos, y'all coming in, y'all been coming through recently. And that's the reason why I have decided to go live a little bit more, because as I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, I commonly mention it, but, you guys are showing up, showing out. It's so much fun collaborating with you guys in the comments, collaborating with the guests. We're one community, as I've said it. We're one community, for the love of the sport of boxing. And that's why I like to have guests. We have a very special guest today. And all you guys who are entering, remember to keep that virtual door open. Oh, we got the sisters from the Li-quor Spot. Salute, man. They're the first ones up in here. Thank you so much. Tay Brown, greetings and salutations to you too. Tay Browns, thank you so much for tuning in. Shakita, right? Dowell, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. Everybody who's coming in the building. And like I said, just real quick, just to, elaborate that on a little bit more that, Bruce goes in the building. Thank you so much, family. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. I appreciate, and this is exactly why, I like to go live. Like I said, and it doesn't mean, everybody has a different perspective. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean we all necessarily have to agree on everything. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody has different points and perspectives. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's that's what it's all about, different perspectives. We all have open minds concerning everything in general, but specifically in the sport of boxing. And I love to hear from you guys. I love to hear it in the comments. I love to hear from the guests. And we have definitely a special guest today. It's such an honor for me to introduce Ms. Boxing from the Li-quor Spot. What is going on, Ms. Boxing? How are you doing?
Hello. Thank you for having me. What's up to the chat? Hello. Hey, girls.
Yeah, they're definitely coming in, man. They're coming in. Ogden, thank you so much. What is good, Ogden Knight? Salute to you. Salute to Christina also, man. Go ahead and greet her on behalf of our side. You know what I'm saying? Tay Brown, what is going on once more? Bruce goes. Derek Bailey. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. And let's get to it, okay? Let's get to what I want to talk about. First and foremost, I want to ask Ms. Boxing, okay? First and foremost, how you doing today, Ms. Boxing? Everything good?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great, man. Just great. We chopped it up a little bit before the session, before we started. I'm doing good. Time flies, like you said, we were talking a moment ago, right? Just time flies so fast. And I'm like, I have been, I don't know when. I know this is not boxing, but it's just, in general. I have been, at the state of mind for the past couple years that time is just going by so fast. I don't even know. We're in 2020. You know what I mean? I remember when the millennium or something like that. When the decade. No, I'm sorry. The century. Flipped the page from 99 to 2000. I remember there's a song out there. We're gonna party like it's 1999. We're 20 years past that. You know what I mean? A lot of people thought that with that song, I think Prince sang it, right? We're gonna party like it's 1999. Everybody thought like that was the end of everything, or like it's over after that, right? But
Right.
20 years later, I mean, I can't believe it. I was in high school. I mean, I was thinking, wow, we're in the year 2000. Wow, and now 20. The reason why I say all this is because it makes me appreciate each day, each moment, each second in life, because it just flies. We cannot bring back yesterday. We cannot bring back the minutes that are going by right now. So we're just trying to make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I personally, with this YouTube channel, it's a lot more to me. Meeting so many like-minded people who, love the sport of boxing. And we learn so much from each other about life too. Not just about the sport of boxing. It goes deeper than that. It goes a lot more. And I definitely, that's how I've been feeling with, past couple of years of my life. And but I'm doing great, man. I know I gave an exhaustive answer to your question of how you're doing.
Okay.
I'm a deep guy, right?
Yes. That's
All
all
right.
right.
So, all righty. So let's begin, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something kind of different, right? With you, Ms. Boxing, because, obviously, those who are listening and tuning in, go subscribe to the Li-quor Spot with Ms. Boxing. We also have, Tay Brown is in there. Shakita, she's there too. I mean, great stuff on boxing. They love the sport of boxing too. I mean, great content. So go ahead and check her out. Go check them out, the Li-quor Spot. Okay, go check them out and go subscribe if anybody is not subscribed to her and to the crew there. I mean, go ahead and check them out. So Ms. Boxing, I want to start kind of differently here. Like, Okay, first, like to get to know you in this aspect, like, how did you discover the sport of boxing, or like what happened?
Okay, I would say when I was young. Now I'm a lot older than a lot of you, except my girls. They're around the same age as me.
All right, all right.
Um, I would say 35, 40 years ago. My dad was in the military, and he used to take us to what it was called boxing smokers, and we would go on the base and watch people in the military duke it out in the ring, and that's my first memory of boxing. But I loved it as a kid, so I was probably between 5, 6, 7 years old, and that's how I was quote unquote introduced to the sport. And then from there, it went to Tuesday night fights, Thursday night fights, and all that type of stuff. So it's I'm like a 35, 40 year fan of boxing.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Boxing smokers, it was called.
Smokers, yes.
And like they were in the base, and military men and women, right? Maybe they would just
Hmm.
go and duke it out in the ring.
Yes, they would.
Wow. Okay, but was it like serious, like training? They were trying, or was it just like, oh, I got beef with you, and let's go fight? No, right? Or
It was a little bit of both. Most of it was they did some type of training, and not much, um but there were a few that they had little grudge fights. Of course, they really probably didn't know too much what they were doing, but most of them had some type of training.
wow, that must have been very interesting. You as a kid, seeing that. Did you get scared? What was your first impression? Do you remember that? Because sometimes we as children, or as adults at least, we have sometimes the childhood memories are kind of blurry. For me, I just remember some childhood memories that are very vivid, that are very, tangible, I guess we can say. What
Hmm.
about with you? Like, were those memories? Do you remember when you were a kid seeing those fights?
Oh, I do. Absolutely, I do. For years, I remember he used to take me to those. Me and my brother.
And was your first impression like, were you scared sometimes, or were you just enjoying it all out?
No, I loved it. And probably because I'm more of a tomboy when I was a lot younger, still a little bit, but yeah, I like to fight and or play fight, whatever you want to call it. But I loved it. I love the sport. Never wanted to do it like
Oh, okay.
in a ring, but
Hmm.
yeah, I loved watching it.
Oh, all right, all right. Just to let you guys know, those who are in the chat, man, you guys are just showing up. Definitely awesome. Thank you guys so much. I just in case, because sometimes it happens, right? And we've heard in other lives, and sometimes where the internet, obviously, it's not perfect. Technology, there are technical difficulties sometimes. So just in case something cuts off or something, we'll be right back in it. Okay, so just in case, we never know, right? Okay, so awesome. So Ms. Boxing, awesome. I mean, your father, right? Awesome stuff that he introduced you to the sport. And throughout all these years, you've been, just in love with the sport. Or can we say, or when was it that you like fell in love with the sport?
Fell in love with the sport. Probably I was maybe about 10, 12 years old. At that point, that's when I start liking specific fighters or noticing specific fighters. When you're 5, 6, 7, you just know it's people, you know, in the ring. But as I started getting older and learning different names and, the Hearns and the Alis and just knowing who these people were, that's when I started to fall in love. When I started noticing or remembering these different fighters and how they fight.
Me, as far as with me, just a quick, just to share these memories with you too. Like, I remember me, one of my first introductions to boxing, okay, was me. I used to live in Arizona. I'm back here in Mexico though, but I used to live there. I grew up in Arizona. I mean, grew up there. And matter of fact, I went live with one of my childhood friends. We talked about UFC. He loves UFC, so we did a little segment on UFC. And I can't. We sometimes my family would bring me down here to Mexico when I was a kid, just to join, just for vacation, just to visit, summer vacation, school vacation. Would come here and visit and go back. And I remember once I was like, how old was I? I was young, man. I was like, what, 11? And they brought us here, and family vacation, whatever. Visited some aunts and uncles and stuff. And I went with a cousin. We went, downtown and stuff, and went in a little warehouse. And one of her friends or something said, "Hey, let's box. You want to box?" I had no idea. I didn't know how to box. Man. I did nothing. And this guy, man, I said, "All right, let's box." And man, that guy put a whooping on me. I think he just wanted to take me out because I came from the States and didn't really know Spanish. And I was like, but this guy, man, he was just whooping me. And I was like, okay, that's enough. That's it. I got a bloody nose. And man,
Oh no.
yeah, I had no idea how to defend. Nothing. Just like an idiot. Yeah, let's box. I thought it was going to be something easy, but oh my gosh, that was my first like introduction to what boxing is. Obviously, years later, I trained down here, more seriously when I was older, a couple years back. And, that was like my first introduction to what boxing is. And, I really, really respect and admire fighters, which is one of the reasons why I threw out this channel, why I made this channel and, just talk about it. And it's all for the love of the sport, man. And that's awesome how you, since you were a child, you fell in love with the sport around 11, 12 years old. Are there any specific names that you like, or was there like a specific experience that made you like instantly fall in love, or was it more like a progression?
Yeah, for me it was more of a progression. I got used to my dad saying, "Come on, let's watch some boxing," or letting us stay up late on Tuesday or Thursday nights to watch boxing, knowing we had to go to school or something like that. But it was definitely it was a gradual thing. But I fell in love with it. I never fell out of love with it yet.
I hope it stays like that you don't fall out of it. Okay. So we have here real quick. Okay. Before we get to the first point, bullet point, it's always great to know the guests, as far as, their experiences in the sport of boxing. Everybody's saluting each other. I mean, this is awesome. Retro Boxing salute. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Retro Boxing and Documentaries. Thank you so much, man. Everybody saluting. Retro Boxing said, "Oh, them smokers. Oh, man." Okay. Actually, Derek Bailey also talking about that. They still have smokers. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Ms. Boxing? They still have them?
I knew. I
Yeah, they still
know.
have them? Oh,
Yes,
wow,
they
wow,
do.
wow.
Especially the
Whoa.
Marines. The Marines really they any Marine base, I know that you're gonna be able to see a smoker.
Is it like every week or something they do that?
No, I think when I was in the military, I think they were probably monthly or quarterly or something like that.
I'm sure it's a lot of fun, though, man. All these soldiers and military men and women go around and just enjoy fights, huh?
Yeah, as long as they don't get beat up.
But is there like there's like a big audience of the military men and women doing service, and also do they make it an event? Do they like eat and have barbecue, or they
Oh
just
yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah?
it's normally a big event. It's normally well, I've most of the ones I've gone to were actually they set up a ring outside. Some have been inside, but I think most of the ones I have seen were outside. And yeah, you can get food, drinks, beer, whatever. But yeah,
Man,
it's pretty
I
fun.
think that was so much. I think that was fun. It sounds fun. I think that sounds like fun, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody getting together, having a blast. Being able to talk to each other, and I think it gives military men and women a break, right, from the common service daily activities, right?
Right.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. So, Shakita Dow, saluting each other. Ogden says also, my dad was in the Navy, and he also went to smokers back then. Man, that's awesome.
Hmm.
I never heard of that. Never heard of that because I never served in the military. So, I really don't know about that. So that's interesting stuff, man. G5 is in the building. Thanks so much. Salute Renee Box Young. Saluting Miss Boxing. The chat family. Awesome, man. Thank you guys so much.
Salute
Oh,
to the chat.
yeah, definitely. Salute to everybody in the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you who are tuning in, and those who are tuning in, those who will tune in after also the live. Salute, and I appreciate all you guys. And remember, one more time, I'll repeat, and I'll keep repeating it throughout the show. Go subscribe to the Li-quor Spot if anybody is not subscribed to the Li-quor Spot. Maybe if Ms. Boxing, can you put the link down there in the chat? Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, if you want, and eventually, whenever you can, okay, go ahead and find it. And
Okay.
you can go ahead and put it there in the and also interesting, Derek. I didn't know that, Derek. Yeah, you were in the Marine Corps, also. That's awesome, man, and awesome. I admire everybody who has been in the service. Awesome stuff, man. Okay, so let's get to the points that we're going to talk about. Okay, now everybody's talking about right now. Okay, and go ahead and comment, everybody below. Also, everybody has been talking about this, and we know, it's been happening, and it's a trend. I like to
Mhm.
talk about trends in boxing because, it relates to the sport of boxing and it's new things that are happening. I mean, look, we got to understand that fighters, up and coming fighters, they come from a different, environment. I mean, these fighters, talk about these youngsters, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, I mean, Shakur Stevenson, et cetera, right? Devin Haney. I mean, all these young fighters and up and comers, they come from a different environment in the sense of, the technological era that they get things faster, even though they probably don't show it or express it. For example, Shakur Stevenson, I mean, he looks like a really patient, mature young man, as a pro
Yes.
fighter. Man, I love these fighters, man, especially when they show that maturity. Devin Haney also, he's, the way they speak, just by listening to them speak, just by looking at their conduct, how they live. Obviously, we're not there to be there with them every day and see how they live, but we can kind of get a real solid idea just by how they speak, you know what I mean? And how they conduct themselves when it comes to talking business, when it comes to talking boxing and stuff like that. They're quite mature, and I really dig that. I really admire that. You got other fighters like Ryan Garcia, Ryan Garcia, we can see, and this is what I want to talk about in this first point. So that, warm-up point here. So like Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, it looks like they're bringing a trend. Also, I mentioned this yesterday with the a series that we have going on. It's called Boxing Then and Now. We have Reggie Owens, Stormy B-Man, and Curtis Anderson. We have that. It was part 5 yesterday of our series. And I mentioned this, I mentioned that, excuse me, that, these fighters, they're talking about like, they want more money. Not just these fighters. We got Chocolatito. Also, I mentioned that yesterday. And I just I'm saying this now because I want to hear your perspective, Ms. Boxing, about it. So Chocolatito, Roman Gonzalez, he talks about he wants more money too to fight because they were talking about a rematch to fight Chocolatito versus El Gallo Estrada. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so. And then Chocolatito recently also said the same. No, I want so and so amount. I'm not going to fight for less. Also we had even Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, obviously he signed. He signed. Oh, you laugh about Terrence. I'm not,
I
just kidding.
do.
I was just kidding. Okay, we'll see in a moment. It's all good. We'll
Yes, we
get your.
will.
And so Bud Crawford, he's also talking about no, I'm not going to fight for less. I signed for so much, and I want that. And that's it. And now we got Teofimo doing it. Ryan Garcia. It's a trend. It's a
Mm-hmm.
trend. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I got my opinion about it, but first let's hear about you, Ms. Box. What do you think about all this?
Well, I think each situation is a little bit different. The one that I really don't understand the most is probably Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
I know he's a social media sensation. He's
yeah,
popular on all these different platforms. And but the thing is, how many Twitter or IG followers you have, if those people aren't boxing fans, then it really shouldn't matter as far as what you think you're worth as far as, fighting. Um, I mean, the only time popularity equals, there's some connection with money is if you're like an elite fighter, a champion, or you've been in some wars, in the
yeah,
ring. And he's just not there yet. Um, I don't know where all this is coming from with him.
yeah,
I don't think he's really made over 200, 250,000. I don't think. I do understand that we are going through the pandemic and stuff like that, but I don't think he was really taking a big pay cut. I don't think. From what I read and I was looking at the numbers and what he wanted was actually an increase. But we do understand. I do know that there will be pay cuts because there are no gates, uh, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of revenue. So Ryan Garcia, he's the one I'm more confused about. Now, Tiafimo, on the other hand,
uh
I
huh.
know people are gonna disagree with me on
No,
this one,
go ahead, take it out there.
but he's a champion. He's about to fight a franchise champion who is a very popular fighter. Um, I don't see a problem with him actually trying to negotiate, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, it's like his team is saying that it was more like Bob Arum was like, "Hey, here it is, take it or leave it. There's no negotiation. Don't even want to negotiate with him." It looks like the way it's broken down is 25-75. I don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially with Lomachenko, and this is probably the most he's ever made. So it doesn't really seem like he's really getting too much of a pay cut either. Even though Tiafimo is probably the most that he's probably ever made too. But I think I would say 35-65 maybe, but 25-75, no. Mm-mm. I don't agree with that.
Definitely. That's great. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, like I said, everybody has their own opinions, their own feelings about it, and that's cool how you see it. That's fine. And you're right. You're definitely right. Every fighter, and the thing is that I mean, that's totally true. We don't see behind closed doors. Well, we're not seeing the contracts. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we can only speak as fans. You know what I mean? As people who analyze the sport of boxing, who really love the sport, and who have several years, many years, observing the sport and its changes. And we only see from the outside looking in. But then again, we have people, there are sources also who come out and speak out. There are sources who come out and speak out some details, some minimal details of certain fighters and what they're going through. But it's exactly what you said, that each fighter is different. Each fighter has, they all have different situations they're going through. You know what I mean? We don't know it all. And so you think that Teofimo should deserve more? He is a champ. I mean, we cannot deny that he's a champ, and I think that's good. That's good that he does deserve more. But the thing here is that we're not sure now. I mean, from what I know, yesterday, matter of fact, Curtis Anderson, maybe somebody in the chat can enlighten me, or you, Ms. Bossing, if I'm not mistaken, that around October 3rd is the date they're shooting for, but it's still like not official yet. It's
That's
not.
true.
Yeah.
It's
So.
not official yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
they don't want to take that offer. They're basically saying they're not going to take that offer. They want to negotiate. That's what I read yesterday morning. Some people were saying a few days ago that it was final, but I don't think it is.
Wow. Okay, so that's what makes me like, as a fan, it makes me a little bit disappointed. I'm like, man, just get in there and fight, man. Just. But I understand they're negotiating. But the thing is that they announced it. It was supposed to be supposedly. When was the first date? Around September?
Mhm.
Yeah, the first was going to be September. Everybody's wild about it and everybody's talking about it. And no. No, Teofimo wants more, so let's back it up now. Now it's going to be October. Now, who knows? That's the thing that gets me, like the uncertainty because of fighters, in this case Teofimo, demand, wanting more, requesting more. It's like, man, when are you going to fight, bro? This is such a highly anticipated fight, and my perspective is that just go in and fight, man. Just go do it. But I definitely understand the other side. You know what I mean? I got to understand the other side where they need to get their money's worth because, like you said, Ms. Boxing, that 25%. I mean, that's quite low. That does sound kind of low. I mean, but then again, from what I understand, Teofimo, I mean, that's more than he has ever made, for one
Right.
fight. But it's complex, right? It's complicated. There are certain angles to go at about it, But and then we got Ryan Garcia. He's not even fighting. I mean, he's not. Because of his. In Spanish, we say berrinches. It's like that means like because of his maybe spoiled. Yeah, maybe And it's like, dude, Ryan. I mean, It's exactly what you said, Ms. Boxing. That Ryan hasn't proven. I mean, this is totally different from Tio because Tio, he definitely has proven. He has proven his worth. He has proven he's about it. His fight
Right.
game amazingly. He has defeated opponents and fought opponents to get him where he's at. Ryan hasn't. So I don't think, this is my personal opinion, and I say it with all due respect. I mean, I don't think Ryan deserves to be going out here on social media and whining and pouting about, I'm not making enough and this and that, And I said this the other day. I mean, I said this the other day. I don't remember. I think it was with Nika. We had a show with Knockouts with Nika. Salute to her.
Mhm.
And I mentioned
That was a great
that.
show too. That was a great
Oh,
show.
thank you. Yeah, yeah, you tuned in that one. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So and I mentioned that Ryan Garcia, he why doesn't he has Oscar's number? Just call him. Don't be sitting here in social media and throwing it out to the world and having people pat your back and how sad, we're so sorry for you, Ryan. I mean, no, just that's what kind of gets me. That's what kind of gets me with not all fighters, obviously now, but we're seeing that more and more. Fighters coming out and throwing their business out on social media. I mean, I don't think that should be the way of going about things. For example, if I have a boss, well, I do have a boss, but this is an example, right? I got a boss. I'm not gonna, if something he or she does that I don't approve of, or I'm not, that I get disappointed about and I'm upset about, I'm not gonna go on social media and type away my issue with that boss. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say, oh, they're not offering me this, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna call he or she up and speak to her, or I'm going to go to the office and speak to him or her personally, face to face. Like, things should be done in a professional manner. They are professional boxers. They're professionals. Professional means, obviously you're a pro in your craft, but we got to conduct ourselves like professionals. And I think that this trend that we're seeing, and mostly like we see it more with Ryan, going back and forth on social media, talking about your boss, talking about certain business aspects that maybe shouldn't be thrown out there, so that people can see, the world can see. I don't know. Do you think that's the right way to go about things in this boxing with, in this case, with Ryan Garcia?
Oh.
What do you?
Okay. Well, I was gonna say generally speaking. I'm gonna go general first.
That's fine.
Generally speaking, it definitely does influence things.
All right.
I don't like it. It's definitely not something like you said I would do. But it does, and we live in a social media world now. This stuff wasn't happening, 25 years ago. You couldn't go on and cry like Ryan does every few days, and people care, or people see to care. Now it seems like, once he says that, then other people see it and other people talk about it, and then it's a domino effect. It's all over the place, and I
Yeah.
know that Oscar and Golden Boy do not want that negative publicity.
Exactly. Yeah.
Publicity. So, in generally, it might help, but in his case, I think Oscar or Golden Boy or whoever is making those decisions, um, they're standing pretty firm. I don't think they really care what Ryan Garcia thinks. I think it's more like, and just like he didn't get a chance to fight. I think he turned down two fights. I think he
Yeah.
turned down
Linares and now Campbell. It looks like Campbell, if I'm not mistaken, that fight's for purse bid now.
for purse bid because they can't agree. It's yeah, so
Man.
for purse bid. So I think on Tuesday, I guess we'll find out what's gonna happen with that. So social media, it's definitely influential, and it does help with certain things. But like I say, in Ryan's case, I don't think it's gonna help much at all.
Yeah, I think it's actually detrimental for Ryan Garcia. I mean, the thing is, he's obviously using social media to his advantage. Definitely. I mean, with all those, I mean, if I'm not okay, because it's working to his advantage, because this kind of relates to Anthony Joshua, for example. Like, they use social media to take pictures of modeling pictures of certain clothes lines. We see several boxers do that. And take pictures of it, and they get, extra money on the side because of that, promoting certain clothes, promoting whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see Ryan Garcia, he's definitely taking advantage of those aspects. I mean, of social media, I mean, which is great. I mean, that's good for him, more power to him. But I think it's detrimental, like you're saying. I mean, I think it's detrimental that he's using the same tool to like speak bad of his
Right.
superiors. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, and he even said it's so beneficial to him. And I mean, that's cool. I mean, more power to him. Ryan Garcia even said, if I'm not mistaken, in an interview or whatever, he said that he makes more off of sponsors. He makes more on the side than boxing, because of all that. I mean, all that he does in social media, it's to his advantage. I mean, he's getting in collaboration with YouTubers or whatever, clips that he does, all these, shoe shining, clips that he does, how fast he is, and, hitting the bag. And I mean, that's amazing. But it seems like he even confessed. I mean, he's making more doing that than boxing. Okay. I think there's a big lopsided problem there, because if you're a pro boxer, bro, you should get in the ring more, man.
Right.
Get in the ring. And you just said a moment ago that, and it's true. Most of those followers are girls that want to be with him. They want to be his girlfriend. I mean, I get it. That's cool. Whatever. That's his business. But I mean, same thing we see with Anthony Joshua. But I mean, that's another story. But all I'm saying is that that's the benefit that he has using social media to his advantage, which is great. But as far as like boxing and real, doing what you should do, it's just like a big lopsided thing. I kind of see Ryan Garcia, if nothing changes, okay? If this continues, this is just a bad look. This is just very bad, because when was the last time you heard this from a fighter? Having problems like this and not really boxing when you're supposed to box more, speaking so much and opening his mouth so much about, I want to fight Tank David, I want to fight Devin Haney, I want to fight, all the best out there. And but you're not even you're turning down fights because, quote unquote, they're not paying you enough. But at the same time, you're speaking, about great fighters in the division, but you're not even fighting people who are even close to that. You know what I'm saying? Who are
Yeah.
even close to those names he's blabbing about, you know? I mean, I say
Right.
it with all due respect, and that's what gets me kind of frustrated as a fighting fan. I mean, I'm sure Ryan Garcia is a cool guy. I'm sure he's a cool guy. If we all meet him, he's a down-to-earth guy, you know what I mean? But what we want to see as boxing fans, get in the ring, bro. Just be quiet. Get in the ring, bro, and fight. He should have taken the Linares fight, man.
Yes, he should have. I don't think he wanted that fight, to be completely honest. I don't think he wanted to
I
fight
agree. I
Linares.
agree. Yeah.
Mm-mm. He should have taken that fight. And then once he beat him, if that's what he thought he was gonna do, then once you move up to the bigger names, then you should expect bigger money. But I think he wanted 500,000 for Linares. He was only, I think they were gonna give him 200, 250 or something
Wow.
like that, and he wanted 500. So I think that was the issue. So
Man, did you know even Canelo, I mean, great fighter, nothing against that. It's just that Canelo also was supporting Ryan Garcia. This was before Ryan
mhm.
Garcia extended his contract to Golden Boy. He was whining and pouting again with his money before the extend of the contract. And then, Canelo retweeting what Ryan Garcia put when he was complaining about, Golden Boy and Oscar not giving him enough money. And then now this is the thing. Ryan Garcia has to kick himself in the butt. It's his fault. Okay. Because he extended his contract to Golden Boy,
Mhm.
and if I'm not mistaken, he said in an interview or something like that, oh, everyone's happy now. I got the best deal that any prospect can have, something like that.
Right.
He even
Right.
said that. Okay. So now, then why, 8 months later, 6 months later, you're going back to the same thing? I mean, it's just perplexing. This is perplexing, but hey, we're human beings. Everybody is perplexing in some kind of way, right? We as human beings, we're just complicated, and that's how we are. That's how we are. I mean, that's how we are as humans. But I don't know. You think it's safe to say, or it's appropriate to say, Ms. Boxing, that is it appropriate to say that for Ryan Garcia? You know what, Ryan? He's young. It's okay. He's young. He'll learn. You think that's fine? It's appropriate to say that about Ryan?
No, if he doesn't want young money, then no, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna use that excuse. He's trying to make money with the big boys. So no, you don't get the young thing, and you don't. Yeah, unless
I
it. If you want to mess with the big boys, then you need to act like a big boy.
Very true. I totally agree. And I was trying to say it in a nice way, but that's what it is. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. I said,
Exactly.
I said, is that the appropriate way to say it? I tried to say it a nice way, right? But you said it dead on. It's an excuse. That whole, oh, he's young, he'll grow up. No, 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 no. He's an adult. 18 years old. You're by law, you're an adult, so start acting like one. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, this is the reality, Miss Boxing, that not everybody who's 18-year-old, 20, 21, 22, blah, 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 right? You even got, you even got what 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, sometimes who act like children, kind of, who are
Mhm.
kind of immature. So I mean, but Ryan Garcia and the position that he's in, I mean, he has everything in his hands right now. He can do it. He can change things. Can go out and fight whoever who is put in front of you, bro, and put your words to action. But it's not happening. And I think that personally, I just don't know what's going to happen to this kid. I mean, it doesn't look good, though. It doesn't look good. And what do you think? You think he can get back at it, Miss Boxing? Maybe in 2021, he'll get back in the mix and really start making a name for himself. He already has a name for himself, but you know what I mean? Like really boxing now and fighting.
I would hope so. I get that's all going to depend on, um, what are his priorities? Is he going to continue to worry about the money or not? Um, because the money is probably going to be an issue for a while. I don't see packed venues anytime soon. I don't know about next year, but um, I don't see that happening anytime soon. So a lot of people, everybody's gonna lose money. I
Yeah.
think. I think.
Yeah. I mean,
um,
mostly. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, but as far as being young, I think us as fans sometimes we're like to blame for that. I'm not me personally.
How is
We're
that? Uh huh.
not me personally,
No, it's
but
okay.
like for instance, you have Devin Haney, you have Shakira Stevenson, you have these young fighters that are champions, and I hear so much. Oh, he's not ready. He's not seasoned enough. I want to see him against, a couple before he moves up.
Yeah.
But if they're already champions, there's no more babying after that point. You understand what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't stand. There's one thing in boxing I can't stand, because back in the day when you had like, you know, Hearns and Sugar Ray, you had young guys that were, they
Exactly.
were in their 20s, early 20s, mid 20s fighting each other. Now we have to wait until they're in their early 30s, you know, over or past their prime to see these guys fight. We have to stop babying these guys. We just do, and gals.
True. So like generally speaking, right? Fans do that. I mean, we do that, fans in general. Oh, he's not ready yet. He's not ready yet, and that's true. I mean, a lot has to do with the fans also. I mean, true. Good point. I mean, and that's going around a lot. That goes around a lot. That word, right? That phrase or that excuse, whatever, right? That no, he's not ready. He needs to still, work his way up and this and that. I mean, I agree. True. But when they're champions, they got to be, there's no excuses. I mean, there shouldn't be any excuses whatsoever. I mean, definitely
Right.
agree. Definitely agree. Let's get quick to the chat. Bruce Ghost says, when I was a kid, they had smokers in my town. Awesome. A big bar called the French American Club. A lot of local legends. Wow. That's awesome, man.
Wow.
That's awesome stuff, Bruce goes. We got here Retro Boxing, great show too. Definitely, man. I think you're referring to the Liquor Spot. Definitely. I repeat again, those who are coming in, those who are entering, go subscribe to the Liquor Spot. I mean, got some great content there, great boxing talk, and much more stuff, right, that they talk about. A lot of other things they talk about there. So go ahead and check them out. Yeah. Yeah, Retro Boxing is talking about Ryan Garcia. I know he is because because when we started talking about this, that's the first comment I saw. He's a strange kid. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know what to say about him. I'm perplexed about that boy, man. Like the old saying goes, I'd like to buy you for what you're worth and sell you for what you think you're worth. Ooh, Bruce goes, interesting stuff right there, man. Masa Bob, don't renegotiate. That's the thing there, Derek. I mean, what Derek's saying there, if Bob isn't going to, because Bud Crawford, okay, he's saying, you know what, I don't want no pay cuts. I ain't gonna fight with pay cuts. If Bob isn't trying to even negotiate with Bud, do you think he's really gonna negotiate decently with Teofimo? Do you think that, Ms. Boxing, or do you think there will be a decent negotiation at the end?
No, I don't think he's going to. Bob came out and said,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to quote, but it was close to this. He said, "I'm not going to lose millions because Tiafimo thinks he's worth more than what he really is what Bob said.
Wow.
So,
Wow. That's
so
Bob. That's
that
Bob.
is
Yeah.
Bob. That's Bob all the way.
Man. So Masa Bob, don't renegotiate. G5 says here, Gabe, 60-40. I think Ryan, Lawrence Williams, hey, salute. Thanks so much for joining, brother. We also got Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens in the house. Man, Reggie, my brother, thanks so much for tuning in, man. I think Ryan is heavily influenced by his lawyer, Lupe, who had fighters like Rios and Vargas who fought Pacquiao, so maybe he overpricing it. That's a good point you say there, Lawrence. I didn't know that. I really don't know about the lawyers of fighters much about that, but that's interesting. I'm going to repeat that. I think Ryan is heavily influenced by his lawyer. Could be, man. Lupe, who had fighters like Rios and Vargas who fought Pacquiao, so maybe he overpriced it. It can be. That can definitely be. Somebody's influencing Ryan. Somebody, somewhere, somehow. And like I said, Canelo was supporting him. We got to understand also, man, Ryan Garcia is in the Canelo camp now. He's been in the Canelo
Exactly.
camp for a while. You think that they're just keeping quiet about this? Of course not. I'm sure that behind the scenes, Canelo, Ryan's saying, you know what, this and that. And Canelo, he's been working a lot longer with Oscar De La Hoya than Ryan has been. So Canelo knows Oscar and how he works. So I'm almost positive. It's just like any coworkers, right? Talking about their boss and this and that. Oh, I've been working with my boss longer than you. Let me show you how it is. Look, this is how you do it. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm sure, somebody's influencing. Could be his lawyer also. Could be Canelo and could be many people around him. You know what I'm saying? So, have to be careful with what's going on there. You know what I mean? So we have here, Brusco says, yeah, exactly. I read today, this is about Teofimo and Lomachenko. I read today where it's 75% done. What's that?
That's Lomachenko 75%.
Oh, man. That's probably what you read, Bruce. That's probably like 75%. That's Lomachenko's cut. That's what it's going to be.
His part is done. He probably signed that already.
And where do you hear that? I mean, that's the thing. We hear so many things now. I mean, that's the benefit, I guess, with social media now that we get the news instant, boom. Before we didn't get this. Before, back in the day, when it comes to boxing, I mean, they were gonna fight and that's it. or
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Boxing, right? Back in the day, with these, amazing heavyweights, Mike Tyson days, Lennox Lewis days, et cetera, Roy Jones Jr. days, et cetera, the names that you just said a moment ago, with
Hmm.
Hagler. Did you hear that in those days? Did you hear, the fight with Hagler and Hearns is 50% accomplished? Did you hear those things or no?
No, I
No,
think the only
exactly.
time I even really heard back in, like you said, social media, when it wasn't out there, I think the only time I ever heard a fighter talk about what percentage they wanted or they deserved, and it was Roy Jones. That was the only one I've ever heard say that and it was in a post fight interview, and I think he was talking about fighting. Oh, it may have been Tarver or someone like that, and he wanted 60-40. I guess everybody wanted 50-50. He wanted 60-40, and he said, well, shoot, it should be 70-30. Kind of like through the mic or something like that, if I remember correctly. But that was the first time I ever heard something like that. And he did that, right after a fight in an interview. So, but now it's all you hear on social
It's all
media.
you hear. That's all
Mhm.
you. That's the first thing you hear.
Mhm.
Even fighters themselves. Oh, we're gonna work out the numbers and this and that. I mean, they sound like. I mean, I get it. I get it. I know it's important, man. But I mean, the thing we're saying is that we never really heard that before.
Mm-mm.
Now it's just every day. It's all the time that we hear
We
this, man.
don't
And
need to hear that, and that's a problem. I don't think
true,
fans should hear that at all.
true.
Just let us know when it's signed. I don't want to hear if it's partially signed, if they're working on it, if you're under negotiation. I don't want to hear
Exactly.
any of that. Just tell me it's done.
Exactly. Exactly. And one of the promoters who talks a lot about this, like this, is I mean, not sure all of them do, but a lot that we're hearing is Eddie Hearn, man. I mean, he talks so much about, I'm not hagging on, I'm not trying to downplay him. No, it's just something that I commonly hear. Also promoters talk a lot about it. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn specifically, oh, we're negotiating and this and that, and it's like, yeah, it's like you said, Ms. Boxing. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear it's signed, they're fighting on so and so date. Great. And that's it.
Yeah.
Let's get on with the sport. You know what I'm saying? But we're hearing it all the time now. So we have your 88 Sports Talk. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in, brother. Thank you so
Hey.
much, man. We also got G Funky 84 boxing, and hey, I appreciate you, bro. Hey, I gotta hit you up, G Funky. Gotta hit you up. You know why? You know why, brother. Thank you so much, G Funky, for tuning in. Jay Cooley also. I'm not sure if I missed somebody here. Jay Cooley. Thank you so much, Jay Cooley, for tuning up in here. Thank you so much for turning in, man. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're talking about that. All right. Now let's get to the next point. Go ahead and comment too. Also, those who are in the chat, and go ahead and comment all you guys want about these things. So that's what we're saying. Fighters, they're wanting more to fight, and we just want to see the fights. And I hope, just to conclude that aspect at least, I hope Ryan Garcia really gets in the business. As far as fighting, not like money, whatever, but really starts fighting and start putting, his words into action. He has to get in the ring and fight, man. He definitely has to
Mhm.
go and fight. And I really hope Teofimo Lomachenko happens. Supposedly it's almost done, but man, we just want to hear it done and man, fight already. But we'll see what happens, man. We're all in suspense. This is like a movie. This is like a drama or something that we're living. It seems like it seems like it seems like boxing is turning into some kind of drama show or something.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's kind of like wrestling. Remember back in when it was WWF, now it's WWE. Back when it
Yeah.
was WCW, they were backstage and and now it seems like we're seeing that in boxing now, man. And it's just kind of sad to see all this stuff. So I mean, we're in suspense. We're gonna see when this happens, and it is what it is, right? So boxing is back, Ms. Boxing. So Ms. Boxing, what do you think about this whole boxing is back now ever since the quarantine? Have you been enjoying it? Or you're not really satisfied? What's your like general input on that?
Of course, I've been enjoying it. I have been enjoying it, but reality is, it's a touchy situation because this pandemic is still going on, and we've actually seen, in boxing, and look at Linares. I think it was Linares. He now he has COVID, so that fights off, I think. Um,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
and then you have, I think, I forgot who, Jamal Herring. I think he had popped positive, but then came
Yeah.
out negative. So
Then came out. Yeah.
we're seeing different things like that. So it's a lot of unpredictable stuff about to happen, and us as fans, we're about to be very disappointed. I can see it coming. Big fights are getting pushed. Again, the Wilder versus Fury is next
Yep.
year now. Um, And a lot of these boxers, some of them, really need to look and see if they want, if they're willing to put themselves, their families, trainers, whoever, you know, in that type of environment, or in that type of danger or whatever, you know. Gosh, it's like I said, I'm happy it's back, but at the same time, I don't want anybody to to be positive, get sick, and something happened to them. I know it's happening a lot in the UFC. It's happening all in sports, period.
Yeah,
Is this country, I mean, are we even ready to come back?
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I as a fan, of course, I'm kind of selfish. I love the sport. But then when I really think about it, I'm like, I don't even know if we should really be doing this. You know what I mean?
That's true because real quick, there's a button real quick. This is in all aspects. I mean, like here, I work in academia down here. I work for a
Mhm.
university language program, and what happened is that they were inspecting the school. Okay, part of the government, some personnel from the university down here. He came to inspect the school to see if it was adequate enough and that passes the protocols of safety and restrictions and things of that nature for students to come back to school.
Mhm.
And he said this, he told us this. He said, you know what? And he's a medic. He's a medic, sent by the university and approved by the government here and to check schools and inspect schools. So he said, he even told us, he said, you know what? I don't even think students should be coming back. I mean, that's what he said. He said, I don't think students should come back. They got to continue their virtual thing because we don't even know. It's just exactly what you're saying. And this goes down to boxing. This goes to every aspect in our lives, everything in commerce. I mean, I don't even think it's a good idea. You know, it's down here, at least with schools, it's not, and I'm an academic coordinator. Okay. I work in that aspect in the school, and I think the same. I'm like, man, why are these people so much in a rush to bring these kids back? I mean, I understand, okay, even schools to a certain extent is a business because, they receive revenue and things of that nature. I know everything, has to revolve around money, but I mean, are you that desperate to bring these kids back, man? I mean, I understand education, we get it, you know what I mean? And it's like, it seems like everything's in a rush.
Mhm.
I don't, it seems like we're too much in a rush to get everything back to quote unquote normal because we as human beings, we're used to living normal lives. I mean, this is something new that in this generation and this, century that's happening. The same thing happened similarly back in the, Spanish flu days, the Black Plague. I mean, things have hit and it was a lot worse. In those generations, they've been through something like this, but now for us, it's new. This is totally new. And I think I kind of agree with you, Ms. Boxing. I do agree with you in that sense that maybe it seems like boxing, and you know why? Because these companies, Top Rank, PBC, UFC, NBA, NFL, et cetera, et cetera. They need money, you know what I mean? They need money, and
Right.
they need to get back. They need to, or it's just gonna go bankrupt, man. So I mean, like you said, us boxing fans, we're spoiled. We fights. We want to see it, but at the same time, it's like I agree with you, Ms. Boxing, that you're saying that, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we're rushing it, right?
Right. Because I mean, what if it comes down to Wilder Fury and one of them is positive, and then you got to put someone else in there. It might just change the whole dynamic of a division. You know what I'm saying? I just
Definitely.
I don't think I'm, like I said, I want to see it. I'm glad it's back, but at the same time, I don't think we're ready.
And you
And
know
and that's
what?
with all
Yeah,
sports. That's with all sports. I live really close to St. Louis, and I think the Cardinals have they've only been able to play like 4 games because the players keep
exactly.
coming up positive. So it's kind of messing up the the whole sport because they can't. I mean, if you can't play games, then what happens? If
And
you
also,
do you take a whole team out of the playoffs or out of the contention? What do you do?
exactly, exactly. I mean, and the thing is that I report. We have and we have I have planned at least to have a reporter. I mean, we had a nice show on a live here. A Mexican reporter. She works for Millennial. Her name is Erica Montoya. She's a sports reporter from a news broadcast and here in Mexico. And we had her on the show. She speaks English. She speaks English too. And we have plans to do some lives in Spanish also. And the reason why I say this is because she mentioned that we were talking about this topic, and she mentioned that the thing here is that fighters, they can't train the same.
Mhm.
as when things are normal. So it's a big, controversial, complex situation. It's not like, so it's not as easy as it looks, because fighters, they're not training as they normally train. So that means we're not going to get 100% of the performance that we expect from fighters in this time. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We can't expect 100% of the fighters that go in the ring and to give it 100% like they do when everything's normal, where they have, multitudes of sparring partners, they have everybody in their camp, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's different. They probably don't go in the gym as frequently, because of all the restrictions going out. You're at risk. Not all the team can go and help you. Not all the sparring partners can go, all your strength and conditioning coaches, et cetera. It's a lot of people in the team. It's a lot of
Mhm.
people, and fighters can't train as they usually do. So that's another thing there, and that really, I think that puts a lot of these fighters in that play where they're like, what should I do? Should I wait? Should I wait it out? Should I, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's just really, really complicated. And like you said, it can even affect the whole division as far as like the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? It's like if they go back and fight, he's speaking specifically about Tyson Fury and Wilder. If they go for the trilogy, are they in the right? Is it the right time for them to go so that they can be the 100? So that they can be completely prepared, because we're talking about a heavyweight title fight. I mean, it's
Mhm.
not, what I'm saying? I'm not minimizing the other divisions, but we know, traditionally speaking, the heavyweight title, is heavyweights fighting for a title, is that should be the focal point as far as with the sport. Obviously I'm not minimizing, like I said, I repeat, other divisions, but that's traditionally the mindset, right? But yeah, so
Absolutely.
so I mean, it's a complex situation, man. I mean, so speaking about that, what we're getting at this bullet point, that like you, I'm enjoying the comeback of boxing. I'm enjoying that boxing is back, but at the same time, it's like, man, it's crazy. It's a perplexing situation. I am really happy boxing is back. I am enjoying it. The fight that we had last night, with Jamal James, with Thomas Delorme. I mean, Jamal James looks like a promising welterweight. It's great to have boxing back. I mean, I enjoyed that fight. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a really good fight. Go back and watch it if you can, Ms. Boxing. It's Jamal
Right.
James, right, versus Thomas Delorme. It was a great
Mhm.
fight, man. It was enjoyable. The commentators were having fun. Lennox Lewis was having fun, as ringside
Mhm.
commentator. They were having fun going back and forth. It was a fun fight, man. Fun stuff. I'm enjoying boxing is back, like you said, Ms. Boxing, and definitely Jay Cooley says here. Renee, remember I got Leo. It's all good, man. It's all good. We're gonna talk about that in a moment. We're gonna definitely
Yeah.
get that, Joe Cooley. Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good, bro. It's all good if you got Leo. No problem.
That's all
Retro
right.
Boxing says here, um, these guys don't want smoke. Whoa, man. That's what Retro Boxing say, man. They don't want to fight each other. Forget all this quarantine and all that. No, they don't want smoke. That's what they don't want. Man, what's up with that, Jay Cooley? It's all good, Retro Box. It's all good. Bruce, what up? That's all good, right? Bruce Go says right here, a heavyweight title fight. That's a holiday. Yeah, I mean, traditionally it is, right?
Mhm.
That's what it is. That's why, this whole Wilder Fury trilogy. Now it's going for 2021. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, man, with all that
Yeah.
deal. But we just got to enjoy it. Like they say, roll with the punches, right? So let's
That's
just try to
right.
enjoy it. Exactly. Let's just try to enjoy boxing the best we can as it is now, man. I mean, what else can we do? Nothing. So, right? We
That's
can't do
right.
anything anyway. So now, Ms. Boxing. Now let's get down a little bit more to specifics. Which fights are you particularly excited about? And the PBC cards, I mean, obviously we talked about, yes, we all know it. Everybody's excited about Teofimo and Lomachenko, which is not official, but we're all excited about. Okay. But like specifically with the PBC cards, we got Charlo versus Deryevchenko. We have Charlo versus Rosario. We got Gervonta versus Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, any specific or another fight maybe. What are you excited about? Which ones?
I would. I'm definitely very excited to see the twin Charlos on the same card. That's always exciting. Um, I think Charlo versus Chinko is probably going to be a really tough one. I'm more excited about that one than the Rosario, Charlo Rosario fight. But, and I
Nah,
can't even remember his name. What do you remember? Who was Sean Porter supposed to be fighting? Do you remember his
I
name?
don't even know, man. I don't
I
even
don't
know.
know, but
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think
I never.
that's probably going to be one of the most important fights. And the reason is
Yeah, why is that?
because this guy he's fighting is the IBO. He's the IBO champion. And
Oh
then
yeah.
and on top of that, the WBC is putting up the silver welterweight belt um for that fight. Now, back last year, if you remember, Danny Garcia fought Adrian Granados for the WBC silver. And now he has a chance to fight Errol Spence for the actual WBC welterweight title. So I believe they did that for Sean to get him back to be able to fight for the WBC welterweight title. So that's what I think the most interesting thing is going to be out of all those fights.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I had no idea. That's great that you're enlightening me on that. So he's gonna fight whoever he's gonna fight. with all due respect, I don't even know the guy's
I
name,
can't.
man. I mean,
Yeah, I
let
feel
me
really
let me
bad about that.
let me try to look it up. Oh, okay. I think I found it. Sebastian Formella.
That's him.
Sebastian. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Okay.
Mhm.
Sebastian Formella. Okay. I had no
Mhm.
idea. So he has an IBO title.
Yes.
So if Sean Porter beats this, then he's gonna get the IBO title and he's gonna have a silver WBC belt.
The WBC silver welterweight title. So
Whoa. And then he will get his break again for Sean Porter, right? I'm sorry, for Errol Spence.
if Errol Spence can beat Danny Garcia, yes.
If he okay. So yeah, always an if. That's very true. Okay, so I didn't know that. I had no idea. So that's an interesting when are they gonna fight? It's gonna be in August, right?
That fight is
I think yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it is.
I think
It's what is this? It's in a couple weeks. I think it's
yeah,
on the
I'm looking it
the
up
twenty
right now.
second. I think.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I'm looking it up right now. Exactly. August 22nd. Awesome. And it's always good to see Sean Porter fight. It's always fun to see him. So and so I didn't, I heard he was fighting, but I kind of like threw it out because I was like, who is this guy? I honestly didn't know who he was. Okay, Formella, I had no idea who he was. I mean, I admit, and I kind of just like threw it behind me, and I was like more focusing on these other names that I was talking about. As
Yeah.
far as big fights and great events, that we're going to see soon. So I didn't know that. So Sean Porter, I mean, there is more to this fight than we know, right? There's more.
Yes, that's why
Hmm.
I knew Sean Porter wasn't just gonna take a fight with the IBO champion for just for that. I knew it's something else had to be, it had to be something else that went to this story, and that's exactly what it is. But they're not saying it, but I guarantee it. It's if you look maybe on BoxRec or Wikipedia, it'll probably say the silver.
I mean, this is just a question. Okay, I know obviously we probably don't know the answer. This is just our opinion.
Hmm.
Why is Sean Porter so obsessed with Spence? I don't know. I mean, you got Bud, you got Pacquiao. I mean, you got other people with belts. You got other champs in the division. Why is his eye just obsessed with Spence? I don't understand it. I
I don't
mean,
even think it's Spence. I think a lot of fighters are obsessed being a
yeah,
WBC green belt
right, 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 right,
champion.
right.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
really do.
it seems like that's like the most, I guess. Actually, we had to talk about this yesterday in sanctioning bodies, with belts and stuff like that. It seems like, at least to me, right? It seems like that's the most coveted belt, the WBC.
Yeah,
Uh,
it seems that way. It seems that way. Um, that's all I can say is that it seems that way. It's just so much crazy stuff going on with all these sanctioning bodies.
it's nuts. I know.
It is nuts.
As a matter of fact, Ludabella, promoter Ludabella, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, they were having a talk. Them three. I made a video about it some time ago, and a quick clip video, just a real fast video. And there's an article about them, and them three were joking and making fun of why so many belts, too many belts.
Hmm.
I mean, you just mentioned one silver belt. Okay, they got the
Yes.
diamond belt. Huh? They got the other sanctioning body has the super champ, has the regular champ. It's like, okay, what the heck? It's like you said. I mean, it's too many belts. And it seems like the WBC is the one that you most covet because I don't know. I
Hmm.
think maybe because historically, heavyweights, had that belt, and it just
Right.
seems like it has the more coveted, I guess, traditionally. So I didn't know that. That's awesome. So Sean Porter, I mean, it's always good to watch him fight.
Hmm.
Sebastian Formella, that's awesome. I'm going to investigate a little bit more about that. So awesome. We're going to have that on August 22nd. Good stuff right there. So now, who do you think is boxing? Who do you think? Okay, let's go to that. Let's go to that. Jay Cooley got my brain itching here. Okay, so
Oh.
uh, Tank Davis, Leo Santa Cruz. What do you got on that? I'm sure you probably talked about it. I think you have with in the liquor spot on a Saturday. I'm not sure when, but I think you did talk about it already. What do you think about that fight?
Um. Well, I do think, despite what a lot of people think, I do think that Tank is gonna come in at the correct weight, I don't think he's going to have any problems making weight. Will that affect him, as far as going down? I don't think so. I think he's really going to be ready. What is going to be interesting to see is how he handles all the output that Leo Santa Cruz is capable of giving. So, but I think his power is going to, it's just gonna, it's gonna be more dominant than Leo Santa Cruz and his activity. So, I think in this case, which it's not many that I choose, even though Tank is, I would consider him a good fighter too. I mean, or as far as boxing, his power is going to be the most important thing in this fight, and I think it's definitely going to. I think he'll knock Leo Santa Cruz out.
And we got to understand too. I love Leo. I mean, many people say, he was ducking this and that, ducking Gary Russell and this and that. I get it. I respect it. But Leo, he's a warrior. I think he's a warrior. I think he's a great fighter. You know what I mean? He has been through wars and fights. But I agree with you, Ms. Boxing. I think Tank is gonna knock him out. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. I have seen a lot of fights from both fighters. Okay, hold on real quick before we let me just get to this real quick. And I want to go to Kui, right? I want to go to what she says in a moment, and it's about Spence, but I want to get back to that, what she says. But real quick before that, right here, G Funky says, Leo gonna take him to deep water and drown Tank. Oh my gosh. The reason why G Funky is saying this is because if I'm not mistaken, Leo said something around that. Leo said that he's gonna take Tank. If I'm not mistaken, that's a similar like a quote. I'm kind of paraphrasing. Leo said something along the lines that he's gonna take him, just exactly what G Funky's saying. He's gonna take Tank. He's going to take Tank into deep waters and drown him. Now, I think Leo is talking about he's just gonna outwork him. And that's exactly what I said in the I got an analysis video that I talked about. Actually, the thumbnail of the video that I have on my analysis on that fight, it says what I think. That Tank is going to knock out Leo. Just look at the thumbnail; it shows it all. It shows Tank like giving an uppercut and Leo like getting phased. And I have a commentator like surprised, and it says KO. So that's what I think's gonna happen. I mean, I do it with love, right? But that's just my input on it. That's where I gave a visual explanation on my thumbnail of what I explained. But I think Leo is saying that he's just gonna take him to deep water. He's gonna outwork him because maybe Leo and his camp and his team is saying, you know what? Tank has problems with weight. Tank has, which we all understand. I mean, I agree. I even explained it in that video. I have explained it time and time again on my channel. But you were talking about it too yesterday, Ms. Boxing. And the Li-quor Spot. You guys were talking about it a little bit about now Tank. I mean, we cannot sweep this under the rug. He has Floyd Mayweather training him now. I mean, we don't have just any guy training Tank now. Now, when you mix, check this out. When you mix Tank's skills, he has skills. I mean, I don't know why. Yes, of course, he has power. I mean, we cannot, but he's skilled in the ring, man. He can box. Like you said, he can box. Tank can box. I think that's a real dangerous thing to ignore on behalf of Leo Santa Cruz. If Leo Santa Cruz thinks, oh, he's just going to look for the knockout. He's just going to try to knock me out. Tank is gonna. I'm sure Tank. Now that Floyd's training him, this is gonna be. I think we're gonna see another level of Tank. I think he's taking things more seriously. I think that this quarantine and all this crazy stuff. Maybe like on Twitter, maybe he's still not like shaping up and he just says crazy things out there. But whatever, right? But I think he's probably now getting a little bit more serious. Obviously, this whole weight issue is a factor. Obviously, the clip that went viral when he sparred Red Catch. Yeah, he's overweight. We know it. We understand it. But, I think he's taking things a little bit more serious. And if that's true, if Tank is taking things seriously in this training camp, and it looks like he is, because it looks like what he says about this fight, Tank, I think is going to be he's going to show us something amazing. And I'm not taking anything away from Leo. Leo has a lot of stamina, He throws so many punches, but that hunched over style, which he does in every fight, okay? He does it in every fight. Leo hunches over and he throws punches. That's perfect for Tank to not. I mean, that's a perfect style for Tank to knock
Exactly.
out. That's like a perfect opponent for him to step back, boom, step back. When Leo comes in, throws them flurries. With that hunched over, kind of like Triple G, kind of like a herd, right?
Mhm.
Hunched over, man. Tank. That looks like a beautiful birthday cake, ready to boom. That's like a prize for him, man. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it time and time again where Tank steps back, bam, uppercut. Oh my gosh, that uppercut is deadly. No joke. So that's what you see him as boxing. That he's gonna knock him out.
Oh yes.
Do
I
you
would say
see?
about the sixth round. About the sixth round. I don't think it'll be really
Wow,
early or really
round
late, but
six.
let's say round
Wow,
six. Mhm.
whoa, round six, halfway through the fight, huh?
Yes.
Whoa, whoa, yeah. Because the thing here is that, I mean, Leo, he has the stamina on his side. He has the real active offense on his side. Definitely. I
Mhm.
mean, he's always active. He did it to Mares in the first and second fight. He did it to Frampton in the first and second fight. I mean, he does it to all his opponents. But he doesn't have power. I mean, is that me or no? Do you see that, Miss Box? It doesn't look like
No,
he
I
has much.
don't. I definitely don't see. No, I don't. He's just so busy, and it's hard to box him. He's just so busy. So no, the power I don't see there, but I do believe his output could be very frustrating for Tank. But I think Tank's power is just gonna he'll probably hurt him maybe a little early and finish him off in about the sixth round.
Yeah, and Leo hasn't faced a tank. I mean, he hasn't
Right.
faced the power of a tank, man. I mean, oh my gosh. A lot of people don't. I talked about this time ago. I don't remember what video. I think I did. I talked about this. Yes, I first mentioned it. I think when I was on. Shouts out to D Style. I think I was in D Style show. D Style. I went live there with him once a few weeks ago, and I talked about this. A lot of people don't pay attention to, and this was before the quarantine. I would always do this before the quarantine. I would always do this every time I watch a fight, and there are microphones around the ring for a reason, so that we can hear the punches. Okay, so that we can hear specifically what's going on in the ring. A lot of people don't even when there were crowds, even though before the quarantine, every time I would watch a fight, I would always listen in on the punches because that's where you can get an idea of how hard the fighter's hitting. Okay, you can hear the leather, just pop, bam, when they go to the body, pop. You can just hear it. Oh my gosh, you can almost feel the pain. So the thing here is that when you hear Tank and go to his other fights, his previous fights, listen closely to the microphone, listen closely to the audio when Tank's fighting. Oh man, that power, man, it's no joke. So I don't think Leo has fought someone like a Tank with that kind of power. So I mean, he's gonna get a run for his money. I mean, I think personally that a lot of people are focusing too much. I have talked about it. I mean, I don't deny it, and it's true that Tank, he tired out. It looked like he tired out with Gamboa, and a lot of people are saying, he went the 12 rounds with Gamboa. He wasn't in shape. We know that he didn't. He missed weight. So I think Leo and his team are probably riding a little bit too much on that. You know what I mean? Tank
Mhm.
has a lot more in his toolbox. He has a lot more. So, and he's being trained, I repeat, by Floyd Mayweather Jr., man. I mean, that is awesome stuff. What's your input on that, Miss Boxing, that Tank is being trained by Mayweather?
Well, I think it's a really good thing. I think it's nothing unfamiliar, to Tank. I know they've all been around that camp for I guess since they were kids. Um, I, I don't think it's any conflict. Mayweather. A lot of people were kind of thinking when Mayweather was training Devin Haney that it's well Tank is mad but if you remember back then Mayweather came out and said they're never going to fight each other. I
Right.
still believe that. I don't think they're ever going to fight each other, and I think that's
Mm,
why it's okay to do this because I can't really see someone training two high tier fighters,
exactly. Yeah.
um, to fight each other basically. So I don't think they're ever going to fight each other. But I think it's a good thing. Tank, if Mayweather can give it to him, Tank needs that discipline. He get that discipline. He's gonna take care of business. Tank, from what I see, I don't see Tank over 135, 130, 135. That's the only weight divisions I think he's gonna be able to succeed at. 140, I think he's just too short. Um, so hopefully, man, we can see him improve. Even though he's great anyway. He's great anyway. Hopefully we can see some improvement, and hopefully we get to see what Floyd Mayweather is about when it comes to training. So I'm interested to see both of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the result and the fruit of Floyd Mayweather training fighters. I mean, yeah, that's very, very interesting to see, and we'll see what happens, right? We'll see when is that fight going to be? October? I
Tank
think
and
it's
Leo?
yeah,
September, October.
yeah, somewhere along those lines. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
So we have here Kui, right? Shakira, she is laughing at this comment here. No, I'm just joking. It's all love. It's all love, family. You know, it's all love here.
Oh yeah.
So
Always.
Shakira's laughing at that. Oh, that's funny stuff. Look at the big eyeballs and surprise. What? What do you think Leo's going to take him to drown? That's good stuff, man. Jay Cooley, facts. Tank went to be able to keep up. Won't to be able to keep up. Maybe, man. We'll see, man. It's going to be a fun fight. It's going to be definitely a fun fight. Renee, the trainer, is not fighting for the fighter. Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. G
Yeah, but
Funky
the
saying,
trainer's there for a reason, you know?
of course, of course.
You know?
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
Jay Cooley.
It's all good. It's all good. G Funky says Tank won't turn into Mayweather in one.
Well, we don't want him to
Not
turn
yeah,
into
that,
Mayweather
yeah, no,
at
no, no. Of
all. We
course not.
don't
Of
want
course
him
not.
to.
Of course
No,
not.
we
Of
don't
course, no,
need.
no. It's just the
No.
skills that he's, certain things he's
Yeah.
teaching him. I said this the other day. That I was talking about a fight that just recently happened. The names don't come to mind right now, but I got the video there. I did a live on it, and I mentioned that, and this is generally speaking, I mentioned that a fighter, even though Floyd Mayweather trains you, whoever trains you, it's not good to try to completely imitate as a fighter. A fighter, you know what I'm saying? It's not good for a fighter to completely try to imitate Pacquiao because there's only one Pacquiao. It's
Mm-hmm.
not good for a fighter to try to completely imitate Mayweather because there's only one Mayweather. I've seen it time and time again where fighters try to act like Mayweather or try to do the Philly shell a little bit too much. I mean, the Philly shell, that's a great defensive, defense. But I mean, if you're trying to imitate Mayweather too much, by trying to counter and while you're on the ropes and trying to pivot out of the ropes, which is good though. I've seen it a lot, and sometimes it doesn't work. It doesn't work if you're trying to completely imitate Mayweather. It doesn't work because there's only one. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's good to take. I'm sure Tank, excuse me. I'm sure Tank. He has. I've seen it, like where Tank's in the ring. He does some things that Mayweather has done in the ring, but Tank has his own style. You see what I'm saying? He has his own style. And Mayweather, I'm sure he knows that. And I'm sure he's helping Tank sharpen up that style, that craft. Tank's craft, not necessarily trying to not trying to make another Mayweather, right? Because that's just it won't work. It definitely doesn't work like that. And I don't think that's what's going on, right? But so Bruce Goes has here, I'm going for Tank. Okay. Leo chisels his opponents. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tank will survive though. Yeah, I definitely think so. Power is not an issue here, I don't think, as far as on Leo's side. I mean, that's definitely not going to be the problem for Tank. The potential problem can be that Leo is very active and his stamina. But, I mean, I think he's just going to counter that big time. I just think he's going to counter that. Mark Wolderlich, thank you so much for tuning in. Utah in the house. Salute to Utah. I thank you so much for tuning in, man. I thank everybody for tuning in. Remember, I repeat again, go subscribe. If anybody is not subscribed, I'm sure most people are here. Go subscribe to the Li-quor Spot with Miss Boxing. They got Tay Tay. They got, Kui. Who else do you have there in Li-quor Spot?
We have Ashley's Corner.
How did I forget that?
Yeah.
Ashley's Corner is up in there. So go
Yes.
subscribe and go subscribe to them too. Go subscribe to Ashley's Corner. Go subscribe to the panel that is in the Li-quor Spot. So go definitely subscribe. Okay. Jay Cool. Let me go back here real quick to the comment. Want to bet on the knockout? Oh my gosh. Does anybody want to bet here? I don't do bets. All right. I'm sorry. I don't, but I'm quite assured that Tank is going to knock him out. But we don't know, right? We'll see what happens, bro. Jay Cooley's putting his money where his mouth is, man. He's confident. Wow. I definitely respect that confidence. Wow, man. My brother is saluting right here. Like button touch. Oh, I thank you so much, man. Yeah, go ahead and like. Kui, I thank you for your support too. Kui was telling us to smash like button also. Real fast. Let me get back to this, okay? Excuse me. I don't want to go all over the board here, but I mean, that's why I said, I always say it. I try to say it commonly when I begin lives. that there are bullet points, but depending on, what the guests say, what we say, a lot of things come out. You know what I'm saying? Different topics
Absolutely.
come out that are related to the bullet points. That's what I love about lives. This is what I
Yeah.
love about lives. We have bullet points. That's great. But a lot of other things come out, and burst out, depending on the comments, depending on how things go, what we talk about. That's what I love about lives. It's organic. So I want to go back to what Shakita said right here. Boom. So Spence, let's go to that real quick. Let's go to that because this is going to be a good fight. I love it. This is going to be a good fight. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. Okay, how do you see that fight going out, Ms. Boxing?
Alrighty, here we go.
We don't have to be too long, all right, on
No,
that one, all
no,
right?
no, no. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing.
All right, all right, all right.
I am one of those individuals who would have preferred to see Errol Spence in a tune-up fight. Um, I honestly do believe that he suffered more damage in that accident than what was told to us. I really do. And like I said, I would have rather see him fight a tune-up fight before going to and some people think that Danny Garcia is a tune-up fight. I don't
No, wait,
think
wait,
that's
wait.
a
Okay, real
tune-up
quick,
fight.
real quick, real quick. I don't want to. Why do you think he suffered more though? What makes you like think that in the car accident?
I've seen people I've seen less than people have like traumatic brain injury. I've seen less than that.
Ah,
Someone go through less than that, and I'm not saying that's what he has, but it would be good to see him, in just a tune-up fight. And this, I think this right here would be the perfect would have been the perfect time for that to happen. Um, I don't see like physically right now when I look at him and when I see him talk and I see him on social media. I'm not saying he looks any different or anything like that, but I don't think it was just broken teeth and scratches. I just don't.
but you think it's like more of a psychological thing or like
Man, neurological is just something. I, I that was just a that was a bad crash. It just was, and I mean, thank God he survived and walked away from it. Um, But that's just my opinion. Like I said, I've seen a lot of stuff in my life. Um, and it's only going by what I've seen and what I've seen people go through. And like I said, I've seen less situations that looked way less than that. So that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to, knock anybody or anything like that. I'm not trying to talk bad about them. But as far as the actual fight, let's talk about this. Gosh darn. I'm going to say this is about a 55-45 fight. Uh, and I am going with Spence in this one. Because I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't physically seen anything wrong. I've seen him sparring, I've seen him working out and stuff like that. But Danny Garcia, oh my goodness, he has a left hook that will knock anybody out in the welterweight division. And it's blind. He'll close his eyes when he does it, and you just don't know if it's coming or not. Ah, do I think he can outbox him? Absolutely not. Um, Danny would have to get, he would probably have to get lucky. But luck in boxing is definitely not unnormal. It's not normal. So I'm Danny has a chance, a little 45% chance. Um, but I think as far as Errol Spence, I think Errol Spence is gonna have to knock him out. Oh my goodness. Wait a second. Did we lose you? Are you still there? Oh, hello. My name is Renee Box Young, and I'm the host of today's show. Uh, where are you at? But anyway, yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight. But I think I'm gonna edge it out for Earl Spence, definitely. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat while Mr. Box Young is gone. I see the liquor spot in the chat. What's going on? That's me. Brusco says after 2-3 rounds we'll know, Queen. That's true. Khabibis says life is full of entertainment, all races and colors. I don't understand that comment, but Jay Cooley says when EJ get punched in the mouth, we'll know. Pretty much, yeah. Um, hey Ashley. Khabib says, my opinion, it's a payoff fight. Danny, take the UD loss. The real money is Bud versus Errol. All right. Hey, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so honored to be with you, Miss. I'm so honored to be with you. Thank you for inviting me to your show. And no, I was just joking. Yeah, the internet went out. Thank you so much. You continued, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, awesome, man.
Look,
Good stuff.
Ashley's Corner. What's up, girl? That's so all of the liquor spot has been in the chat today. Yay.
Cool. Okay, so did you finish your point on Spence and Danny, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, I think Danny has a chance. Um, but I think Spence is definitely he's it might go all the way, like Khabib said. Um, Danny just does have a chance. He does have a chance. A lot of people counting him out, and I've heard people say, it's a tune-up fight. I don't think it's a tune-up fight. Danny, even though we haven't seen what we wanted to see from Danny, he still has a hell of a left hook. So we'll see though. But I'm Spence. I say in 12. It'll be UD. I say unanimous decision
Whoa.
as well.
It's going to be a great fight, man. I definitely agree. It's going to be a great fight. And I agree definitely that Danny's not a tune-up. No way. He's not a pushover. And I think that's just an expression. I think this is just another expression of many, of Spence, going for the gusto, going for the best. I mean, he doesn't want a tune-up. You know what I mean? He wants to fight the best. He doesn't want people to think, you know what, I'm going the easy route. No, I want to fight the best. I want competition. And man, so we'll see what happens, right? I mean, I'm going for Spence. I think that Spence is going to take him, and I agree. I think it's going to be the 12 rounds. I think he's going to box him out. But Danny Garcia, man, he punches hard. He's a tough counter puncher. But I think watch this. I think that Spence is going to have advantage because he can box well. He's great. Spence is great on the outside. He's great on the inside. I said it before. I said it time and time again. He can box amazingly, and he can fight on the inside. And I think Spence is going to be really smart. He's not going to really try to. I don't think he's going to try to go on the inside like he did with Porter. With Porter, man, he just fought on the inside. Boom, boom. It was war. I don't think he's going to do that with Danny Garcia. He's a lot smarter than that. I think he's just going to be box smart on the outside, use his jab, use his footwork. Because remember, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But I'm big on footwork, okay? I love to see fighters with footwork. I'm big on the technicians in the ring and the scientists in the ring as far as boxing. That art, the craft. I see Danny kind of like he's more flat-footed, isn't he? I'm careful. Okay, I'm careful to say this. You know why? Because on the same show, shouts out to our brother D Style Boxing. Shouts out to him. Go subscribe to him. Did you know that when we were talking about there, Teofimo versus Devin Haney, we were talking about that, how that would go out if they were to fight, because they were going back and forth on Twitter some time ago. And I said, I guess it's controversial what I said, because Teofimo's dad, his trainer, responded to me on that in the comment section. Did you know that? He responded. Yeah, he responded to my comments. Yes. And but that's cool, man. Shouts out to Teofimo team. Definitely, man. All love to you. And I made a video after that because he responded to me. Actually, a matter of fact, D-Style, he tweeted me. He said, you know what, bro? You got some attention, man. Teofimo's dad, he kind of called you out there. I said, really? Let me go see this. And I went to the YouTube comment section, and it was Teofimo's dad. I don't think it was a bot or a fake account or something like that, because so I went there, and it said because I said this is what I'm trying to get out. I said this, and that's why I say I'm kind of careful to say it, because I'm not trying to misinterpret things. And I said it clearly like that. I said that Teofimo, I see him more. Okay, I didn't say he's a completely flat-footed fighter, and I clarified it to his dad there in the comment section. I said, I see Teofimo as a little bit more flat-footed, because remember, we're comparing Teofimo with Devin Haney. Devin Haney uses his ringmanship is amazing around the ring. Devin Haney uses his footwork a lot. Okay, and I was explaining, comparing, those two fighters in a match, that Teofimo is a little bit more flat-footed. He's not as active in his footwork as Devin Haney is. But that's why I say I'm kind of careful in this, because I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying. Okay, but Danny And I responded to his, I'm sorry, let me get back to that. I responded to Teofimo's father, and I made a video about it, and I have the proof right there, proof in the pudding. And I responded to him too, with all due respect. But the thing here is I see Danny Garcia, he's a lot more flat-footed, okay? And Spence will be able, in my personal opinion, to box him out nicely. I think he will box him out well. But then again, Spence has to watch out for Danny's power. And I don't think, Spence is too smart. I don't think he's just going to go toe-to-toe, because that's what Danny wants. He wants you to come in. He wants you to come in, and to fight Danny's fight. Toe-to-toe, boom, boom, boom. Hard power punches, hooks, power hooks, and I don't think that's going to happen. So if it does, Spence really has to watch out. If that happens, or if Spence tries to engage Danny to do that, engage with Danny, it probably won't go out well, because now the thing here again, though, Spence has a chin too. He has a chin. Go back to Kell Porter. What the heck am I mixing names up? Kell Brook. Kell Brook, man. I mean, look at the punches. Look at the punches Spence took from Brook. That was a war. That was a war too, man. And look at the punches he took from Spence. I'm sorry, from Porter. That was also a war.
But the thing about that is that, like you were talking about, Danny, we wouldn't want him, or he wouldn't want to fight Danny's fight. But in the Porter fight, he fought Porter's fight and he still won. So
exactly,
it's. But he did a lot. He probably did a lot of things that he shouldn't have had to do. I think it should have been a lot easier for him in that Porter fight. So, if he can fight his own fight, this will be easy for him. I think it'll be easy for him.
Definitely.
But Danny is good at baiting you in to going toe-to-toe with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're totally right. Let's get real quick to the comments. And that's why I mentioned a moment ago at the beginning of the live, I mentioned about that whole internet issue. I was cut off. On my side. So thank you so much, Ms. Boxing, for continuing, man. You're awesome. Awesome stuff here. All right, let's go right here real quick with Bruce goes. After 2-3 rounds, we'll know, Queen. Definitely. We're talking about Tank, right? Yes, sir. Khabib's hat. Salute, brother. Salute to Khabib's hat in the building. Hey, Khabib's hat. I take it you're a UFC fan. I got a video I did live recently on the fight between Khabib and Gaethje. So you go check it out, man. It's great stuff right there too, man. Khabib's hat. Life is full of entertainment, all races, colors. Yeah, definitely, man. Jay Cooley says here, when EJ Errol Spence Jr. gets punched in the mouth, we will know. Definitely, Jay Cooley. For right now, it's all speculation. I mean, you're totally right, bro. It's all speculation. Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. My opinion, it's a payoff, right? Danny take the unanimous decision loss, right? The real money is Bud versus Errol. Yeah, of course. Bud versus Errol is another thing. I mean, that's just a whole another segment right there. Definitely, though, man. I mean, because if I start talking right now about, wow, we're going to just go off. I don't see, though. I'm going to say this, though. I got to put this on the record. I don't think Bud versus Errol is going to happen next year. I think it's going to happen till at least 2022. Okay.
If it does not happen next year, I will not watch it. I won't support it.
Pretty much. No. But you got to understand, because the thing is you already know. I mean, what happens so much time and time again, we'll go back to the trends of boxing. Fights are put off. Business, he's getting this percentage. I don't want to. Bob, we're talking about, even though Wilder, and Fury, that has happened. We're even talking about a trilogy from 2 different promotional companies. But same concept here, though. But with Bud and Errol, it seems just too controversial with who's taking the cut, who's taking the biggest cut, and also a lot of these promoters talking about milk in the fight. I think one of the people, and I say it with all due respect, Mayweather Jr., I think him and the Pacquiao blueprint, whatever they call it, right? That milking to generate more money. I think that's what Bud and Errol are kind of shooting at, man. That's just what I think. Or maybe their teams or promoters are saying, you know what, wait, so that the real money is generated. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of think that's one of the reasons why I think that's going to happen until 2022, man. I don't think it's going to happen in 2021, but let's hope for the best, right? Let's hope for the best.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Jay Dixon says if he's smart, he'll stop Spence from getting that. Yeah, man. Danny might go in for the kill. Man. Ashley's Corner. Salute once more. Thank you so much. Go subscribe to Ashley's Corner. Thank you so much for tuning in. There are so much comments here, guys. Okay, so let's finish with this. Ms. Boxing. One more bullet point, because I've got everybody here commenting this awesome stuff. Now, let's talk about, okay, we're going back to what we were talking about a moment ago. The heavyweight division. Obviously, that's a whole lot to talk about. But who do you see, Ms. Boxing, who will be reigning soon in the heavyweight division. Do you see anybody in particular reigning? Do you think there will be an undisputed heavyweight champion, or are these silly games going to be played with, you know what, I got 4 belts and you have 1, you know, the pay cuts and blah, 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 all that silliness that we constantly hear? Do you actually think there's going to be an undisputed heavyweight champion soon in the heavyweight division?
I don't know if it's going to be soon, but I have an idea who it's going to be.
Okay, who? Go ahead. Yeah, throw it out there.
Um, yeah, so it's going to be Anthony Joshua.
Wow, wow. Can you elaborate on that? No, go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, it's all
Well,
good. Go ahead.
before I elaborate on this, I am also the only one probably uh in the community that I can think of that
It's
said
okay.
that Anthony Joshua was going to beat Andy Ruiz in the second fight. So I just want everybody to know that
Hmm.
I was the only one. But um I believe that Tyson Fury is, gosh, he's just overconfident. I think he is.
Hmm.
Um Deontay Wilder, he's I think he can knock out AJ, but I think when AJ when AJ boxed Ruiz, it was such a big change.
Exactly.
Um, I think he's gonna be able to stay away
Yep.
from Wilder if he fights Wilder. And I think he'll be able to outbox Tyson Fury because to me, I don't, I mean, a lot of people say that Tyson Fury is this great boxer. I don't really see him as a great boxer. I see him as a good boxer.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I think him and AJ might be on the same level when it comes to actual boxing. And I
Yeah.
think AJ
Yeah.
has more power than Tyson Fury. So with them being even boxers at this point, and I don't know if AJ just um, changed up that style just for this fight. But if they're on even playing field as far as boxing, I'll give it to AJ because he has the power to go with it. So I would say AJ is, if anybody, AJ is going to be the undisputed heavyweight champion.
I think a lot of people are also not giving too much credit to AJ. You know, in the psychological side, that you know, taking such a big loss from Andy Ruiz, the quote unquote underdog, who was a big underdog, you know, before that first fight happened. You know, Andy Ruiz was the underdog. I mean, we got to admit the facts, right? Most people were thinking AJ is just gonna flick him out of the way, right? As a replacement to Baby Miller,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of people aren't giving enough credit to AJ, and I get it, man. I mean, AJ has done a lot of controversial things throughout the years. I definitely
Mhm.
didn't like it. I did not like how he called out Wilder, and then no, I won't fight him for this much. No, give me 50 million, and you know, and then no, I'm not going to sell my soul, and you know, I mean, a whole bunch of back and forth with Eddie Hearn, a whole mix of stuff, man. And I didn't really appreciate that. I think that, you know, Wilder is always, you know, all heart, and he definitely sincerely wanted to fight AJ, but I think AJ didn't want to fight Wilder back in those days, right? But
Mhm.
now when he fought Ruiz, he lost against Ruiz. I mean, amazing win, amazing blowout win by Ruiz. And I think a lot of people are not giving, get back to what I'm saying here, just to build it up, that I think a lot of people are not giving a lot of credit to AJ for his comeback. I mean,
Mhm.
the thing here is that when he lost, he kind of like disappeared, man. And he was focusing on his craft. He just went back to the drawing board and just started focusing on his craft. Well, you know, a couple videos of him training would come out, but he even grew his fro. He even grew his hair. I think that
Mhm.
was him saying, you know what, I'm not going to cut my hair. I'm going to be so dedicated to this to get my win, to get my belts back, you know, and I'm going to stick to my craft. I think a lot of people don't give him that credit. You know what I mean? Give him enough credit to coming back and winning. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think it's a big no-no on behalf of Andy Ruiz also for not taking care and not taking it. He lost his hunger. His coach even said it. You know, Manny Robles, if I'm not mistaken, his old coach, his former coach, now he has a new one, but he has Eddie Reynoso now working with him. But back when Manny Robles even said it, he said, you know what, Andy Ruiz, he didn't have the fire anymore. He wasn't as hungry after the first win.
Mhm.
The money, blah blah blah, success, blah blah blah, right? It got to his head. He just stopped coming to camp. He would come to camp, obviously, but he would leave. He would come when he wanted to. He wouldn't answer my phone calls. There was an interview with Manny Robles, and he was explaining it all. And you know, his coach was saying it, and he just said he lost the fire, man. So, but I definitely agree that, you know, I think that, or more like he definitely is not didn't get the credit, AJ, in the psychological factor, how he came back. I mean, that takes a lot of that takes a lot of strength, courage to come back from a loss like that. I mean, just look how
Absolutely.
he got pounded, man. I mean,
He did.
look at the pounding he took, man, in the first fight, and to come back from that first emotionally, psychologically, and get back to training. I mean, wow. I mean, I give the credit to AJ. I'm not saying he can't fight. No, I mean, he can fight. AJ can fight, man. So interesting you say that. I didn't think you would say that he would possibly, right, be the undisputed champ. We'll see.
Yes. Yeah,
Hopefully,
I really do believe that. And another thing, if people just really look at it, is that AJ, um, and I believe a year ago, year and a half ago, he was absolutely afraid of Wilder, absolutely. But for
yes, he was.
him to see Wilder actually lose, I think that's probably going to help him. I think that
Right.
has helped him. Um, just like for Deontay Wilder, for him to see AJ, even though I know that there was no fear anyway. I think AJ was afraid of him, but I think for him to see that, and for him to also see that he's not the only one that can get knocked out, or I mean, because pretty much Tyson Fury was knocked out too. So these guys are almost all on the same playing field mentally.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So um, I think AJ is just gonna be the one coming out on top.
Interesting stuff. Interesting viewpoint. I'm not. I'm
Look,
definitely.
I see my girls ain't in the chat anymore. You
Uh
know
oh.
what
Uh
happened?
oh. No, no,
I'm just
they're gonna,
playing.
no, they're gonna get at you in the liquor spot next Saturday. They took their notes. No, I'm just joking. I was just joking. It's all
No,
love.
it's all,
It's
it
all,
is. It's all love. That's the thing with us. Hey, we can disagree and
of course,
debate and
yeah,
all
of
that
course,
stuff, and in the end, it's all love. So, but
of
yeah, that's what I
course.
think. That's what I
Interesting
think.
stuff. Interesting stuff. Okay, but who do you think? Okay, now we're getting to the conclusion here on this
Hmm.
aspect in the show. Who do you think? Who do you think will win in the trilogy? Wow, Fury versus Wilder. That's a hard one, huh?
It is a very, very hard one because it's been so much controversy. You know, it's like we don't even know what
Yeah,
happened in
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
between
yeah,
the.
yeah.
I have no clue. Nobody has a clue. They're saying he has a dent in his head and his skull. It's so many aspects to this.
Yeah.
But if they're both healthy, if they both go in there healthy, completely healthy, and they just go fight, there's no dispute about gloves or anything like that. I do see Deontay Wilder winning that fight.
The only thing I think Deontay Wilder should improve on is, being more active in his combos, right? Not depending on the power punch.
Mhm.
Okay. Real fast, real fast. This reminds me of Dog Bay versus Navarrete, El Vaquero.
Mm.
This happened some time ago.
Mhm.
They fought the first fight, right? Great fight by Navarrete, using his distance, using his power, even going on the inside, fighting on the inside. Man, Navarrete's a warrior, man. And I was actually going for Dog Bay in that fight. I love Dog Bay. And rematch came around. Navarrete is a big guy, tall guy, uses his distance. And what Dog Bay was trying to do, he was just relying on the power punch. He
Mhm.
was doing that. But Dog Bay hits hard for a young boy, for a little boy. Little size. That's what I'm trying to say. For the little weight that he's in, the lightweight that he's in. Dog Bay is a strong kid, man. Strong guy. He's not a kid. He looks like a kid because he's like a short guy, right? But
He's very short.
he looks very young too.
Yeah.
He tried in the rematch with Navarrete. He tried too much to knock him out. I mean, that's what he tried to do. He just tried too much to knock him out, and Navarrete
Mhm.
was outboxing him wonderfully because he saw the frustration in Dog Bay of trying to knock him out, and it didn't work. And that's what I saw. With Wilder, I saw that kind of in the first fight, with Fury and with Wilder, that Wilder is trying a little bit too hard to knock him out. And what I'm trying to say is he even did it with Ortiz, even though he did knock Ortiz out in the rematch. I mean, amazingly. But the problem there was that Ortiz was just racking them points up in the meantime, man. So if Wilder tries to do that, in the trilogy, if he just tries to knock out Fury, I don't think he's going to win, man. But I mean, Wilder has to box more. That's what he has to do. And I know Wilder has the athleticism. I know he has it. He has it because we saw it back in Stavern when he fought
Yes.
Stavern in the rematch. Did
Mhm.
you see how he ran up on him and ran
Oh yeah.
and used the angle?
That was
Boom,
personal. That was
boom.
personal. And that's another thing. I think it's going to be real personal. When with
Whoa.
Brazil, it was personal. And you see what happened in both of those fights. There were some personal behind the scene issues that were going on with those guys. So
Hmm.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be
And,
dangerous.
and the reason why I say that Wilder has the athleticism because the way he ran up to Stavern and went at an angle and threw a power punch in a crazy angle. I mean, I know he can use that. I know he has footwork. He can use footwork more in the ring. He can use the jab a lot more in the ring. He can use combos. He can do it, but I mean, it all rides on that. But if Wilder's going to keep fighting like he did the previous fights, I don't think he's gonna win, man. I think Tyson Fury's just gonna box him out, but we'll see, man. We'll see because
Yeah.
Tyson Fury has a really awkward boxing style, man, that twitchiness and I mean, jumping around and it's just weird and it's
Yeah.
hard to catch that. It's hard to catch that. So me having sparred down here and trained down here in Mexico, fighting taller guys, bigger guys. Them, using the jab at a distance, which Wilder does. He knows how to box, but kind of weird. It's hard to catch guys like that, man. And but we'll see, right? We'll see. So you got Wilder for the trilogy?
Mhm. Yeah, Wilder for the trilogy.
Yeah, I'm going for Wilder, definitely. I'm definitely going for him. I really hope for the best for this man. We'll see when it happens. But now they're talking 2021, so we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead to the comments real quick, and then we'll close it out here. We got with
Alrighty.
different angles and feints, Errol can beat Danny fairly easy, but Danny is a solid. Yeah, definitely Ash's corner. Definitely. We have J.A. Dixon talking. AJ doesn't have the confidence to beat either guy, in my opinion. And Fury is just big and keeps moving. Yeah, exactly. We're talking about a moment ago. Fury is really big, and he just keeps on moving and moving and moving. But then again, you go back to Anthony Joshua. Even though Klitschko was old and out of his prime, obviously for to even box. Klitschko is he's kind of a mover. He kind of slips punches and he's kind of Klitschko is a really smart fighter too. So I mean, and AJ did great against him, but he did have a problem with Klitschko in the fight. So, but obviously Fury is not that old and he's not out of his prime. So, but yeah, I mean, you got a point, Jay Dixon. I don't think it's going to be easy. Definitely, Reggie Owens said facts. J.A. Dixon, he still ducked Ortiz too. I can't deal with the heavyweight who's I agree, bro. It seems like when after AJ, AJ seems like the type of person who doesn't want to engage. He did engage somewhat. He did engage with Klitschko, but then again, Klitschko wasn't at his prime and he wasn't 100. So it could be, man, that AJ he just doesn't want to engage, man. I mean, I think if Wilder isn't in the picture, all heavyweight fights can get made without a lot of problems. Definitely, girl. Definitely, fam. I'm here. Oh, she's responding to you, Miss Boxy. She's here. No, she's still here.
Quiet on me.
Everything would be worth those three, but only one heavyweight. So I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Wilder wins. Wilder, yes, ma'am. Definitely, Jay Dixon. Dog Bay was too small to be fighting. Yeah. And he rematched him. I mean, Dog Bay's awesome. I love Dog Bay, man. Awesome fighter. So many folks was putting out so much information, whether it was right or wrong. It was too much information for at least a week. I was over it. Wilder is still, yeah. I mean, I feel you, Shakita. I mean, definitely, man. Wilder, he's still amazing, man. I mean, never discredit him. I mean, I love him, man. Wilder's awesome. Let's not forget what happened in the first fight. Yeah, definitely, girl. Definitely, man. Definitely. Miss Boxing, any last words before we close it, man? We've been going for a while. I had so much fun with you, man. Any last words?
I had fun too. Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And thank my girls for coming in the chat. I really appreciate it. And the chat, thank you. Um, Man, this was really fun, and we definitely were able to talk about a good variety of stuff. So I definitely appreciate it, and I'm definitely going to share this on my page. Yes.
Hey, I really appreciate you, and that's what it's about. I mean, we're a community. You know what I'm saying? That's like I always repeat it. We're a community, and not everyone necessarily has the same opinions or perspectives, but it's all good. We share. It's an open platform where we can have fun, talk about what we love, the sport of boxing, right? And everyone, again, go subscribe to The Li-quor Spot. If anybody hasn't subscribed to her, go to Miss Boxing's channel there, The Li-quor Spot, okay, and go subscribe. And thank you guys so much, everybody who tuned in, man. Y'all showed up and showed up and showed out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Subscribe here also, like, share, etc., etc. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Boxing, can you stay just about a minute after I close this?
I sure can.
Okay, just wait a moment, okay? Thank you so much. Oh, Mr. Shelton just came at the end. Oh my gosh, it's all good, man. Go ahead. You can go ahead and go back, right? Go ahead and check the live. Go ahead and check it. We're towards the end, but man, we talked about some good stuff. I appreciate you, Quickie. I thank you so much. I loved it too. Hopefully in the future we can have you too, Quickie, on here. Yeah, we'll have you too, man. We'll talk some boxing. Definitely. We need you here too. Okay, so thank you guys so much, Renee Box Young. Salute from the South. One love. And remember, everybody stay safe because we're in some crazy times. stay safe, man. Take care of your loved ones. Spend time with your family. You know what I mean? Appreciate every day that we have. You know what I'm saying? Because we never know. You know what I'm saying? This world is crazy out there. So thank you guys so much. Salute from the South. Thank you so much again, Miss Boxing, for being here with us. Thank you. Peace out, family.
Peace.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, just hold.